Tosh. It's first of all, what's up? How you doing?
What's up, my guy?
It's week 2, and this is the first time I seen you sit down in a chair. So I want to know, are you good?
I even asked. I said, "What my numbers is today?" They didn't let high anything. I'm feeling a little tired.
So how you feeling? You know, I'm going into week 2, and real quick, I just wanted to change gears real quick to talk about the Met Gala. I saw you on FaceTime with Sav. Can you just speak? Oh, you on FaceTime?
I call
just speak
all
about
of
the
them.
highlights of that for you, or being from home and just enjoying them and everything like that.
No, I've really been pushing myself in this training camp. We are setting a standard. This is a championship mentality team, so we have gone after it as we have something to protect. And granted, I wasn't here when they won last year, but I know what it means to have that target on your back. And I'm prepared for it, so I'm just excited to be a big piece of that, of getting to add to a great organization already. And then the Met Gala, that's what I'm most excited about. I don't think people realize how monumental that moment is. It is a invitation of the who's who's, and to have 3 of our players, to have our owner there, that shows what significance this organization and overall is having here in Brooklyn. And I think that our players looked amazing. I think that they showcased each of their fashions, their strength as women, their power as women, but to be a part of that on a greater scale, like I got to FaceTime each of them just to see what their outfits were, just to see how their makeup was going, but also just to show love and support to my teammates too, because it is a big thing. And what? It made its most money doing what? Black dandyism? Yeah, did I say it right? Dandyism,
Yes,
sorry.
Yes,
I can't put the L in it. Dandyism, yup. We love black culture, huh? Yeah.
And speak about your emotions just with the Fenty partnership. When you heard about the Fenty partnership,
I love Riri. Listen, Queen Riri, I'm a Pisces, you're a Pisces. I love Fenty, you love Fenty, you started Fenty. But no, it's just, I think when you talk about Rihanna and how powerful she is, how inclusive she is to everybody, she makes everyone feel seen and powerful and beautiful and exactly who they are, what they are. She's literally changed her home country's, like, the trajectory of it. She's just done so many different things, while also, I just think she's a badass because she does it as she wants. She showed up to the Met at 37, pregnant, also like dismissing all these things that you have to have kids early and you can't put yourself in your career first as a woman. So I just think she defies a lot of odds. I think we do that in the WNBA as well. So I'm super excited that we, as the New York Liberty, have this first real partnership with them. I think it makes sense. We have both mommies and poppies on our team, but I really love her line. I use her skincare, I use her makeup. I know poppies don't typically use makeup, but when we need a blemish cover, girl, Riri, you got me.
Look, so
you
real
a Pisces,
quick.
he a Libra, I'm a Pisces, she a Libra. Come on, man.
So real quick, this is my last one for you. Just if you could just invite Riri to one game in a video message, what would you tell Riri? Just to come
I
to
don't
one
even
game?
care what game it is, bro. I love you. I have written you on Instagram. Just check your DMs. I love you bad. All we want is for you to come to a game. You are the only person I want to show up this season. So please lock us in, bring the family. I promise you we won't disappoint you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tosh.
What do you think this team's going to value the most from you joining the team?
My energy. I think that we're a very close team, but we're a close reserve team. And that's just kind of everyone's personalities. So I think between KB, myself, we bring the energy, we bring the loudness and the goofiness, and we really bring everyone to connect together. Whether that's me walking in and yelling every morning, whether I have it or not, good morning, making sure I conversate with everyone. But I'm here for the good vibes and a little bit of toughness too. They were already tough as shit. I just had to add a little bit of my Philly to it.
Tosh, how's the loudness fitting in?
Yeah, I think it's welcomed. I think one of the first 3 days I came in and Olaf was like, how long can you sustain this? And I was like, this is me. So I'm sorry in advance. I'm probably going to get on your nerves, but this is the energy all the time.
What was your reaction when you're coming here to a championship team?
Oh man, I cried like a baby. A lot of people don't know, it's hard to be traded. You uproot your life from East Coast to West Coast. You're thinking that you're going to stay long term and then the business and all that kind of comes into play. So I was traded in the middle of Unrivaled, another season where I just really poured into basketball, and I trusted JK and Morgan Tuck to get this job done. And it took a month. It took a little over a month being patient at Unrivaled, but when it came to fruition, I was just really ecstatic. I feel like God has truly protected me in a lot of areas in the last 2-3 years of me moving and shifting. And there's no other place that I wanted to be than 2 hours from home in New York here.
You've been a champion, so why do you think it's so hard to repeat? Only Vegas has done it since the early years of the league.
It's really hard to win a fucking championship. I know everyone, that's their goal when we set out for every season is to win a championship. But to actually be one of those two teams in the finals it's a grueling season. So if anything, I came into an already well-oiled machine. What I add is new freshness. I add something that I think they lacked last year, which isn't Sav did a phenomenal job with the ball in her hands, but for her to really be successful and give to our team, she needs to be off ball a lot too. So now I get to make everyone's job a little bit easier as being that slasher that's going to find the most layouts.
Speaking about KB earlier, she's always someone who has her arm around someone else.
Yes.
What have you seen from her, and just how have you been able to connect with her?
Man, KB is our X factor. I told her this the other day. She's very humble, so she'll never really talk about herself in the way that she should, but she keeps everyone connected. When we need a good possession, a good cut, some movement, she's there. When we need a MIG, when we need her to guard and fill whatever position on defense, she's there. When we need her to fill the energy in the locker room, she's there. So I'm really excited. I got to play with KB in Washington, which a lot of people don't remember. And I loved her because she brought all those same things to us. I didn't want KB to beat DC.
Yeah.
I don't write checks, so that wasn't in my... But to come back to see how important she is to this organization and now to get to play with her with this bright opportunity ahead. Obviously, KT wasn't someone that they wanted to give up, but with the new teams and it just happened. But this presents a really cool opportunity for KB to just extend her role. So I'm excited to see what she does with it.
How many of the preseason games have you watched? Sorry.
No, you're good.
How many of the preseason games have you watched?
All of them except for my dog Slim and BG today, because obviously the 11:30 time didn't allow for us to watch. I love basketball and I love women's basketball, so I'm tuned into everything. I'm excited. I'm itching. We're one of the last teams to play.
Yeah.
But I'm also excited about that too, because I can't believe that we would ever schedule a preseason game a week in the training camp. I think it's reckless for our bodies. Shout out to those teams that did it, but I think we need at least a week and a half to prep for season. So I don't know if that means we start earlier. I don't know if that means they add time. We keep adding games, but we're not extending the schedule. So I just want us to also talk about player health when we are talking about how quickly these preseason games have come. But I thought they've been really good. I thought each team that played early, especially the first game, they looked really good. It set a tone and a precedent for what this season's about to be. And this is going to be exciting. Our league is very even. When I first came into the league, you would go into some games and be like, yeah, we definitely want to win this game tonight. We don't need to do that much. There is no game like that anymore. So I think the playing field is leveling out, and it's anyone's season, but we're going to keep going with Team Liberty. Liberty.
Yeah. JJ kind of mentioned that it's also nice for the players that are competing for a spot to actually get a week or two underneath their belt of practice and get a feel for everything before they go out and show.
Absolutely.
Because you know how this league can be with cuts and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know it's been hard. I've seen a few cuts early. I just want fans to know when coaches cut players early, it is so they can get picked up on the back end. So as much as we want to be on these people about opportunities and stuff like that, coaches are going to pick their best, right, 12. But if they cut you early, it's because they believe in you and they want to see you on another team. They just won't have it for you. So I'm excited we've gotten all this time with our rookies to adjust, and I'm excited for the games this weekend for them to really implement everything and have a fair shot at winning that spot, right? So yeah, the more time they have, the more easily they'll gel in, and that's been really beneficial for us.
Tosh, you said you're a basketball junkie, you're watching all of these games. What is something from watching this Liberty team from afar last year that you've learned about them sharing the court here in training camp?
Honestly, their closeness. I said this in one of our first culture meetings, is that 2 years ago, I could see that they weren't there yet. You know, there was moments where they would go on their own islands, and it's very easy to do that in the chaos of a season. Last year was different. You saw them come together more when adversity hit, when shit got hard. They came together more, they depended on each other more. And I think that was the next level. We have all the talent we need in this room. You can look through our roster, and one of the best on papers. But it's that extra culture, it's that environment in the locker room, it's how much we care about each other off the court. that's going to transition to on the court. And then getting here, they play positionless basketball, and they really play positionless basketball. There is not a selfish bone in our franchise players' bodies. The ball is always going to find the right play. It's always going to find the right person, and we're always going to find the right shot. And that's refreshing to me, because that hasn't been the case in the last few years of my career.
Well, that feels reminiscent of that 2019
Exactly,
team, right?
right.
So what can you take from that and bring to this organization?
Just, again, being positionless. I'm going to be your dog on the defensive end, one of many dogs on the defensive end. We're going to try to get out. I'm going to push our pace as much as possible, but then when we get into it, we don't have anything. It's our throttle down. It's now depending on all that talent and depth that we have on our roster to really just execute and make teams pay. Why a mascot makes me nervous like this, but I love Ellie. Yes.
So
Bad.
So how was that first meeting? The scene.
I tried, so y'all were like, we'll never know what the conversation is. I don't even know what the conversation is. I was like, so you really don't talk? There was no response. I was like, but are we gonna be friends? Like, for real. There was no response.
She communicates though.
I was like, can you add me on Instagram? She gave me a little head nod. I said, okay, I'll take that. I will take that. But again, you want to talk about just like an icon, that is Ellie. I think that New York has done an amazing job, not only over the past few years, but even before when I was in DC, about the investment into this organization, into their players, into everything that is New York, everything that is culture, everything that is blackness, and just making something positive out of it. And I think Ellie represents everything that is New York. I think that she represents everything that is blackness and culture and beauty, and just really owning that. And that's why she is the icon that she is. What other mascot you see in the State Farm commercial?
No.
I didn't think so. Okay.
No. Also,
She got her nails done, her braid, her tail. Y'all could never.
no, I could not.
Let me just. Y'all could never. I ain't got the braid or nothing. I just got the little bangs.
I listened to a lot of the podcasts you did over the off season just because I find what you have to say is very interesting.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You were on it was called the OGs, right? And you were talking about how you want to continue to become a better offensive threat on the team that you're on. That was something you want to do. I guess what I want to know from you is, what does that look like this season with this team?
Honestly, it starts with me being aggressive in games. So you'll probably see me come out if the first play, whoever the first play is called for, but probably early in transition, you'll see me get into the cup a little bit more. That starts what I really want to do, which is eventually get to the paint and spray out and find my players. But if I'm not being aggressive at the rim, if I'm not putting pressure on defenses to commit to me, then I'm doing a disservice to all my other teammates around me. So that offensive game and just taking a little bit more ownership has been accumulating over the last few years, but I will never go outside of myself because we have every weapon that we need here. It's just taking my opportunities to be a little bit more aggressive when I see them.
And I see you're testing out the dog chant. That's something that's becoming a thing.
Yeah, we're getting there. The bark this morning was better than the bark after practice. I think it was just, it was a hard practice.
But what I want to know is, there's someone a little more reserved, like let's say a Marine, who maybe might not be barking, or maybe she's a work in
She's just going to smile on the back, and I'll take that.
So that was my question. Like, what are the ways you make sure she's engaged as a leader?
Oh, me and Marine got our own handshake. She chased me out of the locker room yesterday because I keep pulling her chair and everything. So whether you're reserved or you're hyper, I'm going to feed into you. I'm going to see you. I'm going to make sure that when I walk in our locker room, I say hi to everyone. When I walk into this gym, I will most of the time say hi to y'all. I will speak to all of our scout guys. I will speak to whoever's on the baseline. I think that's just how my parents raised me, is when you walk into a room, you speak. And it just, obviously, it breaks the ice that's already there, but Marine isn't as reserved and innocent as y'all think she is.
No, I know she's very
funny.
funny.
She be chucking me the
very
finger
funny.
whenever she wants to. Our handshake is really cool. If you check it out, it's a cool little, you'll see it. Yeah, so we have our little things. It's cool that she's reserved. And I think it's important to embrace people for who they are. I'm loud. That's not how everyone else is going to be. But she still is such a prominent piece of this team. So we need her to feel seen and just appreciated for who she is. So the reservedness is fine. I'm still going to be in there.
And changing topics, you've always been outspoken about socio-political intersections. these are rough times, obviously.
Yeah.
And I understand that basketball is the main thing, but also this league has become known to be a voice for people that are feeling hopeless. And
What'd you say again about that? Can you repeat that last part? This league?
Yes, this league.
Okay, I challenge this league to continue that. I
Well-
don't know if we've shown up like we should the last few years, especially the last year and a half. So I am very much putting a lot of
Yeah.
pressure, because I think that as athletes, we can sometimes feel like we're in a microscope, or this isn't our problem, this won't affect our home. This affects everybody's home.
Yes.
Where we are right now in today's society, it affects everyone's home, regardless if you're white, black, Asian, brown. It don't matter where you come from, if you're Catholic or Christian, whether you're gay or straight, every single home is going to be affected. And what has been, so if y'all haven't seen Wicked, please go see Wicked.
Oh, I have.
It literally depicts what we are going through now. They create a common enemy in each other, so we're distracted by who our common enemy is. This affects all of our pockets, regardless if you have money, if you don't have money, if you're middle class, lower class, upper class. We have 10 billionaires running our country right now into the ground. It's just, there's right and wrong. There's 60 years of progress that we're about to rewind. And if you're not gonna do it for someone that looks different than you, then do it for the people in your home. Your wives are affected, your daughters are affected, your sons are affected, the list goes on. So it affects somebody in your home some way, somehow. Even health insurance, your gas prices, your grocery prices. I already know it. People are stringing out their paychecks, and now millionaires and billionaires are asking you to string your paycheck out more. I don't know what sense that makes to you. They can say that gas is $1.98 for wholesale, but that's not what they're selling it to us for. So that's the conversations that we need to continue to have. We need to be real about America's true history, and when we are accountable for it, then we can move on. If I'm in a relationship and I hurt my girl and I don't take accountability, do we move forward? No, we stay in the same place, right? If we want to progress and we want things to work, then we meet in the middle where everyone feels like they're winning. I'm not asking everyone to give their shit up. I'm just asking for a common ground that we can meet together. And my last thing I'm going to say is the power will always be with the people.
I guess I didn't ask a question, but I guess
I gave you a general answer, and that is going to be like my cutoff on that. I think I touched a lot of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and also I'm going to be talking about Gaza. It is something that is near and dear to my heart. It's going to come up. I just want to make sure that my verbiage around it is correct.
Of course.
So stay tuned for that.
Sure.
We're going to get into good trouble, as Sean Lewis said.
Thank you, Tasha.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Tasha. Appreciate you, Tasha.
Thank y'all.